Yes. No, it feels good to be in front of the camera again. It feels good. It feels very good to be here. Oh, that is the question, is can I operate the mouse? Oh, it appears not. Well, okay. Okay, hello. You know what, I'm just going to take these off, because I'm just responding. Hello, thank you for being patient. It has been a while since I've sat down to record a video. However, I've been working a lot in the lab, and I feel I'm on the verge of a large genetic breakthrough. I can't reveal it here because of secrecy and copyright and trademark reasons. However, I can say that it's big, and it involves the future of our species. So I'll just leave it there. But also, the video for today did take a while to prepare and accumulate and put together. It was recently released, the Deposition, the Richard Sackler Deposition, in the Purdue Pharmaceuticals case about the opioid crisis. I have taken a look at this, and I have reacted to this deposition for your viewing pleasure. Enjoy my take on the Richard Sackler. Oh, really quick, I feel I should say a few things. Richard Sackler, he's a member of the Sackler family, donated billions to a bunch of different places. Some places have stopped accepting Sackler family donations. He is the CEO of Purdue Pharmaceuticals. Purdue Pharmaceuticals is responsible for the opioid crisis. These are drugs. These are far worse, more addictive drugs than the ones that I created back in the 60s. The 60s in Canada. I feel like that's all I really... Well, oh yes, this man is a son of a bitch and an asshole. I feel like that's all I need to say about Richard Sackler. I mean, other than Richard Sackler is responsible for the opioid crisis, I feel as though that's really everything I have to say about Richard Sackler being responsible for the opioid crisis. So let's get to it. The deposition, my reaction to the deposition, which shows Richard Sackler's culpability in the opioid crisis.
Have you made any effort, or as we sit here today, do you know how many patients who took OxyContin in Kentucky became dependent or addicted?
No.
Do you believe that an inappropriate number of patients, or an excessive number of patients who took OxyContin in Kentucky became addicted or dependent?
No.
Do you know, or has Purdue made any effort to ascertain how many people who were started on OxyContin
Why is he eating
wound
a
up becoming
sandwich?
dependent and moving on to heroin at some point?
That's so inappropriate. This is a deposition. Put your sandwich down. Put your sandwich down, Mr. Sackler. Put your sandwich down when you are in a deposition. It's very inappropriate. You can have the water, but put your sandwich down. Okay, let's watch the next one here.
And the Start With, Stay With campaign. Do you know who came up with the Start With, Stay With marketing campaign?
I wish I could lay claim to it, but no, I don't know who came up with it.
And then it says...
That was not the launch campaign in a sense. may have been a subtext of the launch campaign, which was the old way and the new way, but
It says at the bottom, less potential abuse than other opioids. Do you know where that claim came from?
I don't know.
Do you know whether
Of course you
OxyContin
don't.
had less potential abuse than other opioids?
I don't know what this refers to.
Of course you don't. You're only the CEO of the company. How could you know? How could you know what it refers to? You're the CEO of the company. This is why capitalism sucks, everybody. This is why capitalism will fail. Every time. Now, the third video.
And you compensated your sales force very well, based predominantly on how much OxyContin they sold. Is that correct?
The most successful salespeople, a majority of their income was bonus. The average salesman, certainly when we launched the product, the overwhelming majority of their income was their salary and the benefits that they received. And for the average salesman, I think it would have been 50% of their income or 70% of their income salary and the balance in bonus.
Sure.
But I don't remember
That's a lot.
this in detail, and of course it changed over time.
Of course
The
it
way
did.
the sales scheme was set up. If they sold more OxyContin, they made more money, basically.
Yes.
Standard drug lord rules. Standard drug cartel rules. I mean, I know this. I invented a few drugs back in the 60s. So I know exactly how this operates, how exactly a syndicate operates. See, the more drugs you sell, the more money you make. It's a simple thing. And that's what's despicable about the corporate measure. Now, when I sold drugs, first of all, I use the term selling drugs loosely. Because when I sold drugs, I basically gave them away, and it was basically like, come here, and it was like have a session. It was come here and have a session, and I had pods that were set up, and you could like pods with, like there was a couch that was just like a poof. There was a poof you could sit on, and that was I was less selling drugs and more selling an experience, I suppose you could say. And I did have an application process. So, yes, I only accepted people who had fit this very specific criteria. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yes, the same as almost every other company in the industry.
Do you know if reps that promoted and sold OxyContin sometimes ended up making over $250,000 a year?
I've heard that was the case. I'm sure it was unusual.
And then your top sellers were rewarded with trips to Bermuda or London in what was called the Toppers program. Is that correct?
No! So the more opioids they sold, from the sounds of the deposition, from the sounds of the evidence gathered, the more money they sold, the more opioids they sold. These people were, these executives, these sellers were rewarded by trips to the tropics. Wow. I mean, that's blatant. That's pretty blatant. That's pretty damning. At least he's put away the sandwich.
Yes.
At least he has put away the sandwich. I mean, I'm glad that that's gone. Let's see what the next video is.
You won't believe how committed I am to make OxyContin a huge success.
There's an admission, people. There it is. Cut. Wrap it up. There's the admission. He's admitted it. Richard Sackler has admitted to attempting to make opioids, OxyContin specifically, a huge success. Fascinating. Fascinating. Right there. Just out with it. Out with it. This is your deposition. His lawyer has to be like in the back of the room going like, oh, Dick. Dick. What are you doing? You're hurting us. You're hurting us, Dick. You're hurting our case.
It is almost that I've dedicated my life to it.
That was perfect. Let's see what this next video. Where did the mouse go? I have found the mouse.
On July 30th of 2014, were you a director of Purdue Pharma, Inc.?
Not that I'm aware.
What?
This is an affidavit filed in the Southern District of West Virginia. And does that appear to be your name?
That does.
And it's dated July 30, 2014. It says, Declaration of Dr. Richard S. Sackler. I am a director of Purdue Pharma, Inc., the general partner of Purdue Pharma, LP. I've held this position since 1990.
If that's what it says, then that's what it says.
That's fascinating. So, does this man not remember being the CEO of Purdue Pharma? Wow. This man is a fool. This man is a fool and should pay with billions of dollars. He should personally give billions of dollars to everyone who is suffering at the hands of the opioid crisis. Yes. Oh, by the way, go to the Ukrainian food market if you want to try my licorice-flavored peanut. There's both varieties, black and red. Alright, that's that one. Let's move on to the 6th video in the series.
This didn't just happen. It was a deftly coordinated, planned event that took...
First of all, I love the music, and I want to know... Not that I want to know, I want to say thank you to the prosecutors. I want to say thank you to the court system who put this music behind this section of the deposition. Thank you! Thank you! I love it, it's great, it's great.
Dozens of workers, years of effort to succeed. The most demanding new drug approval package for any analgesic product ever submitted didn't languish at the agency. Unlike the years that other filings linger at FDA, this product was approved in 11 months, 14 days. Our previous best approval time for other products.
Does that sound like a brag? That sounds like a brag to me. It sounds like he's bragging that. Is he bragging that? It's like less than a year. He's bragging. He's bragging there, right? Am I understanding that correctly? He's bragging. He's bragging. Yes.
It was measured in years, not months.
Well, that was fun. That really felt like the episode of Breaking Bad that we all know that this is. I wonder why I'm getting the sense that this is an episode of Breaking Bad. No, of course. The lawyer is Bob Odenkirk. Yeah. All right. How did they get Bob Odenkirk? How did the prosecution get Bob Odenkirk? Huh. Fascinating.
We have to hammer on the abusers in every way possible. They are the...
You have to hammer on the abusers. Abusers of the drug. Abusers of Oxycontin. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just too funny. A hammer on the abusers. You have to treat the abusers. Oh. He's a kingpin. It's just something about this.
And the problem, they are reckless criminals.
Well, someone's a reckless criminal in all this, but I don't think it's the abusers of the Oxycontin. Now, let's go over to the last video in this testimony series.
The launch of OxyContin tablets will be followed by a blizzard of prescriptions that will bury the competition.
A blizzard! A blizzard. Climate change is real, people. Climate change is real. You heard it here first. Richard Sackler believes in climate change. There will be a blizzard of paperwork. Yes, a blizzard. It's going to be white, it's going to be heavy, it's going to be deep. Climate change is real.
The prescription blizzard will be so deep, dense, and white.
I mean, it will be deep, dense, and white. It's like, wow, that was quite intense. That was enjoyable. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping that a case can be built and made and we can go forward and all of this, and I hope we can keep the connection to Breaking Bad alive. Bob Odenkirk did a good job as the lawyer. Bob Odenkirk did a good job as a lawyer in this deposition. Of course, he was probably also sitting back there like, oh my, what is my client doing? Well, that's that. You know what? Let's solve this opioid crisis. Let's do it. Let's do it now. Solve the opioid crisis. Solve the opioid crisis. Give treatment to all of the, like, as I said earlier, give, like, at least $1 billion to everyone who suffered at the hand of Purdue Pharmaceuticals. All of their customers need to receive at least $1 billion, so that they can afford, and $1 billion to be spent at, like, drug treatment plants. I think that'll solve it. I think that'll do pretty well toward solving the problem, I think. What do you think? What do you think? Tell me in the comments.
Do you have anything to plug on this 18th of April, 2019?
Hey, I suppose I would just like to tell people to go to my Twitter, which is at Tomenti. Go to my Facebook, which is Leonard Tomenti, and please email me questions or comments or rude remarks at dr.leonard.tomenti@gmail.com. That's all that I'm aware of.
You have anything to say to a community on YouTube who came to expect a sense of regularity from this channel?
I would like to say, lower your expectations. I am a 154-year-old man. Lower your expectations. Don't expect anything. I am a socialist and an atheist and a geneticist. I am a geneticist. I'm still an active geneticist. I still have active work going on in the lab. I cannot be said to make a video all the time. I cannot always sit down and take the time to make videos. But when I do, you will be the first to know if you click the subscribe button and that little bell.
To wrap up here, do you have anything else to say for yourself?
I would like to say, tell everyone out there to be kind to each other and keep looking inward, but mostly be kind.